I know that some churches, they'll have their children out proselytizing, like, I'm not talking about like your door-to-door stuff, although I'm sure that does happen. I'm talking about like in school. Do they preach when they're in school? Like, do they give out literature and stuff? Because I remember running into some like Mormon kids when I was in school, and they would be trying to proselytize to me, and I was wondering if Jehovah's Witnesses had a similar experience.
They're not asked to hand out literature at school. Any witnessing that witness kids would do at school, and oftentimes schools don't allow, religion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fortunately, we're in Texas where they're a little more receptive to stuff like that.
That's true. That's true. But any type of witnessing that a child would do would be them voluntarily seeing a situation like, man, young kids are dealing with so much. And oftentimes the young ones in a classroom environment know who the witness children are.
I know I did.
They don't do the holidays and they don't do the flag. So
Right.
They kind of know they're a Bible kid, and they will oftentimes come to the and ask the witness children Bible questions, and they'll get a chance to witness to them. And sometimes they will give them come the next day with a particular magazine or a book for children to give to them. But it's nothing that they're commanded, you have to do this.
There's no quota.
Oh, okay, that's good. So they're not like they don't keep like a log or anything of the.
Well, it kind of comes back to this verse, the same thing. Because and I both went through school as witnesses.
Oh yeah.
And there were a lot of situations where kids would be talking about problems they were experiencing at home, or just feeling down, and I knew of verses in the Bible that could be encouraging to them. I didn't have an electronic Bible at the time.
That probably would have been helpful.
Sometimes I would keep a Bible in my locker because somebody had started to talk about a situation, and so I could show them things that could be helpful to them, encouraging. And sometimes a couple of kids I even had a little Bible study with at different times, just because of things they were going through. But it wasn't like I was just, scanning the school, trying to go out and talk to everybody. It was more selective because there were simply a lot of people just had no interest. They were busy doing their own things. And
yeah, I mean, like you said, you can usually tell who the witness kids are. I think I mentioned to you that some of my experience with Jehovah's Witnesses was in school. I remember in school that the witness kids tended to be alienated quite a bit. There was definitely a sense of isolation from not just from their peers, but like in general. Like even teachers would treat them a little bit differently sometimes. And I kind of worry for that. I wouldn't want, our children facing any kind of discrimination based on their beliefs.
Looking back on school now, it's very rare to find somebody who's gone through school and not felt a little bit like out of the loop, like they're not cool, feel like everybody else is having fun except them.
I still feel that way.
It's not a Jehovah's Witness thing. And yes, they may be more on their guard at school because there's so much that they do not participate in. Their language, that they don't curse and use ugly, degrading language, the type of music they listen to. If they don't do the acid, hard rock that is blasting lyrics that are discriminatory about women or bashing the police or vulgar or that. So the type of music they listen to, so that they are, Jesus said, you will be no part of this world.
Yeah, we read that scripture. I remember that last, I think it was last study.
And he said, the world will hate you. Well, the kids in the class, they didn't hate us, but that they knew we were a little different. But I still had my school friends. We still joined. We elementary school, I was a fast runner, and we would challenge the boys to races. That was back in the days we had recess. I don't think they have that anymore.
Well, definitely not right now. I mean,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the chess club and
me too.
Other, different activities. So I played tennis in high school.
My brother was in bowling. I was in math club. I was a geek.
Oh, I was also in math club. I was on the math and science team in high school. So
me too.
yeah,
The UIL.
yeah. Oh, nice. I'm surprised that I'm surprised you had time for UIL if you were doing all the stuff that you said, because like
No,
that's
we
like
had
that's a pretty
lots of
much
stuff.
that's an extracurricular activity.
It was, yeah, but it was like Brainiacs.
Did you go on
It wasn't
any
that
of the
much. You know,
trips?
if it would have been a whole bunch, then yeah, I think my mom would have said no, but it wasn't
Oh,
that much.
oh, so does that were you allowed to
Maybe,
go on any of the trips, like any of the math team trips and stuff like that, where you traveled different cities or even out of state
yeah.
for competitions?
You know what? Yeah, my daughter was in orchestra, and they had played in their orchestra in Orlando in Disney World.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we did allow her. She was in Latin club. She took
Took Latin
Latin.
class for 3 years.
They had a trip to Italy.
Well, and we had tried to, as the kids were growing up, teach them Bible principles and help them to make good decisions. And they're going to be making their own decisions. I mean, you
Yeah.
can control them when you're with them, but as soon as they go to school, they're making their own friends. They're deciding who to spend their time with. They're deciding what to do. So, trying to get them
Smoking.
trained ahead of time and then be able to make good decisions that won't damage them as they
Yeah.
go through those things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as, it's understood that they're kids and they're not like, that's taken into account if they do make a mistake.
Well, it's not so much that our concern wasn't us needing to punish. It was that, sometimes we can make decisions that really damage us and, alter our lives. So we try to help the kids foresee situations where they could make a decision that, ends up costing them something really valuable.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
Not about the punishment, just the consequences.
Being kicked out of religion will definitely damage your life. Your family won't even talk to you anymore. So that certainly is a lifelong effect.